Hey, filmmaker, photographer, millennial, side hustler, freelancer. Welcome to the podcast. This is Project Freelance, and I am here to help you dominate the world with your creativity. What's up? My name's Kay. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. If you are a veteran listener, well, there's only been one podcast previous to this, so sit tight. You're not quite a veteran yet. I haven't even taught you anything. So, you can find me on social media. I'll just start there. That's where we always start. Instagram, Kay Anagonio Photography. That's also Facebook. My website is also Kay Anagonio Photography. Good luck spelling my last name. It's okay. It's going to go like this. K, just the letter. K, E-N-A-G-O-N-I-O. And bingo, what's his name? Oh. Yes, that's my last name. Anagonio. Inagonio. It's Italian, okay? I'm sure you figured that out. Anyway, so you can follow me on social media, Kay Anagonio Photography. My personal accounts are Kay Anagonio on Instagram and Twitter. And I make twice weekly urban exploration videos on YouTube at youtube.com/justtheletterK. All right, let's get into this podcast situation. What are we going to talk about today? I will tell you what we are going to talk about today. We're going to start at the beginning. Starting as a freelancer, starting as a freelance photographer, filmmaker, which is specifically what I'll be talking about, but this also applies to other types of freelancing, whether it's writing, coding, drawing, animation, graphic design, printing, like screen printing, anything, any type of freelancing. This stuff can take you to the next level with your freelancing, okay? The things I'm going to tell you hopefully will change your life and change the course of your career. That is my ultimate goal, because there's nothing like the feeling of helping someone reach their goals, you know? So, why should you start freelancing first of all? Well, let me just give you a lowdown on the situation. So, it is 2017. The workplace is a very different workplace than it was when our parents were working. You know I'm right. I'm sure your parents have told you the same thing. Like, your generation doesn't appreciate anything. We had to work for all of the things that we blah, 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 blah. When adults tell me this nowadays, it kind of, it makes me want to reply in a very snarky way, but I feel like you need to respect your elders at all times. But the truth, the real honest to God truth is that the workplace is different for us now. We don't get the same wages that, our parents got. I mean, that's very different, and it's harder to get into a lifelong career. Most people change careers every 2 years, guys. Every 2 years. So how are you supposed to create and build a lifetime career from the age of 18? And that's not to say that people don't do that. That's just saying that it's a very rare occurrence these days. It's almost a phenomenon. Okay? It's very strange. So the other, reason that you might want to become a freelancer or create a side hustle is because we don't get pensions anymore. We're probably not even going to get like Social Security here pretty quick. Thanks to our fantastic potato in the White House, Mr. Trump. Thanks for that, sir. Also, side tangent, he just got rid of the women's education, what is it? Women's learning. The foundation that Michelle Obama and Obama created together to like bring education to women around the country. Yeah, he just disbanded that today. He was like, no, we're done with that. He also just got rid of the healthy school lunch program, which is, why would you do that? Do you want to kill the children? Like, what the fuck? Yeah, also, excuse my mouth. There's a major parental advisory sticker on this podcast. Sorry, parents. But yes, the world is changing. So, when your parents ask you, why don't you go get a real job? Just tell them, hey, mom/dad, guardian. I would love to get a real job, but I'm not going to get medical benefits. I'm not going to get a pension. I'm not going to get the things that I need to feel comfortable doing one job for the rest of my life. And that's the sad fact. We will not get the same benefits that our parents got. And it's super unfortunate because I feel like we deserve it because I'm an entitled millennial. Okay, no, but for real, it's really hard for us to get a job. $9 minimum wage in California. Do you know how much my rent is? I mean, I'm not going to tell you how much my rent is, but if I had a quote unquote normal job, I would be living in a shoebox. So, yeah, rent in California is hideously expensive. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, why don't you not live there? First of all, California is amazing. Secondly, the opportunities here vastly outnumber, the bad things about California, like the traffic and the people. But no, I do think that becoming a freelancer and having a side hustle, especially at a younger age, and I mean, I'm talking like you can start this shit when you're 14. You can start it as soon as you want. Get in the game. The sooner you start, the better off you're going to be. I mean, that's just statistics, right? That's just simple math or something. I was really bad at math in school. But yeah, it's very common for for young adults to have a side job or a side hustle, as, the millennials like to call it. And my parents didn't understand the whole freelancing thing at first either because, it's not something that's immediately going to pay off. But I mean, it's like that in any career, isn't it? You have to start from the bottom. You really do. You have to start from the bottom, especially when you're trying to create your own brand and sell that brand to people. Like it's something that takes time. And I remember when I first started freelancing and working for myself, my dad would, message me and say, hey, how's it going? Like, when are you going to start making money on this? And yeah, that's super, it's stressful. Starting out is very, very stressful, especially in waters you've never navigated before. And you may not have, a mentor or somebody there that can, kind of show you the ropes and give you the lay of the land. I didn't have that. I moved to California, didn't know anybody. I had to learn all this shit myself. I had to learn about how the industry here worked. I had to learn about how people worked. And let me tell you, when they talk about, the Hollywood syndrome, I don't know if that's really what it's called or if it really has a name, but I call it the Hollywood syndrome. It's when people talk the talk and they don't deliver on things. They don't keep their word. Their word means shit. That's the Hollywood syndrome, my friends. I'm from the Midwest, so, I grew up, when I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to show up early and start doing that for you. So that is something I really had to learn about Hollywood, about, the West Coast, really. Everything's so fast here. Nobody has time for you. It's all about me all the time. Where's my Starbucks? That's what it's about. So you should freelance. Absolutely. If you are sick of going to the same dumbass job every day, dealing with the same dumbass, idiotic manager, shitty customers. Well, I mean, you're still going to have shitty customers as a freelancer. It's just a part of life. Shitty people exist. You got to learn how to cope. But yes, you should, if you have a passion for something and you are not afraid to fail, because trust me, you will see a lot of failures. You will have a lot of shortcomings in this industry, but you can be proud of yourself because you created something. You built something. And that's special. Not a lot of people can do that. So just keep that in mind. Now, how easy is it to get into the freelancing world? Well, that depends on what you are trying to do. That depends on what your goals are. Do you want to, that's the first thing you really have to figure out. What are your goals? What are the things that you want for your career? Do you want to, photograph action sports? Do you want to photograph bands? Do you want to photograph people, models, products, jewelry? What do you want to do? What do you want to do with your craft? Because first of all, the options are limitless. There's a gazillion things you could do that you love. And there's ways to do all of those things. You just have to figure out the best way to start. And if you want to go down that road, if you are still trying to figure out what it is that you love doing, maybe don't quit your job just yet. Just wait until you have a concrete idea. Because if you just quit, that's great, but you're already setting yourself up for a lot of hardships that you could, skip past. You don't need to deal with all those hardships when you could just do things right the first time, not have to backtrack in your career, and not screw yourself over, because nobody wants that. Nobody wants to be screwed over by themselves. Trust me, that does not sound like a good time. So if you already have your passion project, if you already have the idea of what you want to do with your career, that's awesome. First of all, you are a million steps ahead of everyone else in the game. So congratulations. Be proud of yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back. Jump off of a trampoline into a pool. That's exciting. Do that. Celebrate yourself. That's freaking amazing. It's very, very impressive that you already have an idea picked out that you want to work on. Because trust me, a lot of people just like to, like I said earlier, just quit their jobs and think that, it's going to be simple. It is not simple, my friends. It is not. It is a lot of hard work, a lot of overnight jobs, little sleep, lots of Red Bull, lots of Taco Bell. Oh, God. Taco Bell, gross. It's a lot of hard work. I worked 20 hours yesterday. Today I've worked 10 so far. I'm recording this and I'm also editing photos from an abandoned water park that I was at yesterday. So yes, I never stop working because Elon Musk is my hero and he never stops working. So I figure there must be something he's doing right to be so successful. But yeah, if you want to start freelancing, fuck it, go for it. But first get an idea of what you want to do. Don't just throw everything out the window just yet, but you will soon. So how are you supposed to go from having a 9-to-5 with steady income, steady hours, insurance, all the benefits of having a full-time job, throwing that away and starting a fully self-funded freelance job or gig or passion project, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish? How do you go from 9-to-5 to your life? So to be honest, I've only had one quote unquote real job before. I interned at a skydive drop zone in Dubai when I lived there. That was my first, job, but it was an internship, so I didn't get paid. So was it really a job? I don't know. That depends on your definition. But my first real job was as a photographer for a company that took pictures of people at a restaurant and then tried to sell them those photos of themselves for a ridiculous amount of money when they could literally take the photo on their iPhone. Yes. I would get paid $35 a day, and that would only pay for my Uber to and from the restaurant that I shot at. So yeah, I quickly realized that was not going to work for me. I didn't want to go to work day in and day out and literally lose money, pay to have to go work somewhere. It didn't make any sense to me. So I went on tour, was on tour for a couple months, didn't really call the company, didn't really give them notice, but they knew I was going on tour and they said, well, if you come back or when you come back, your job will be here waiting. Didn't want my job back, so I didn't call. They didn't care. It was all good. So I got lucky. I've only had one real job. Now I work out of my house. I get to hang out with my cats all day. I don't really have time for relationships. That's because I'm trying to be successful. Relationships will come later in my life. Right now, I need to hustle hard, keep my eyes on the prize. And the prize is Nat Geo and Elon Musk and SpaceX and Mars. And I would love to film a documentary about Japan drilling to the center of the earth, because that would be an amazing documentary to watch and film. So yeah, that's important. Set goals. We'll talk about that in a whole other podcast. But I love what I do. I love that I get to work out of my house, and I love that I am sitting here recording my voice, making a podcast for you to listen to while you're trying to figure out what you want to do with your life and your career and your passion projects. Next week, I'm going to talk about what websites you can use to get freelancing jobs when you're just starting out as a freelancer. So be sure to tune in then. You guys can check out all the links in the show notes. And please don't forget to rate this podcast and comment below with topics you'd like me to talk about, or if you have any questions that I can answer for you. I'll see you guys next week. Go shoot something. Later.